beautiful friends! Today I'm filming my fall TBR. This is my favorite seasonal TBR to film. I'm so excited. So today I have several sections of the TBR I'll be going over. I have it sorted by categories so you can skip around however you'd like. We have cozy mysteries, thrillers, like general mysteries, and then a couple of random other ones, including a cozy fantasy that I'm actually very excited for. So let's go ahead and hop into cozy mystery. So the first cozy mystery I would really like to read is one I got used over the summer, and it just sounds like the perfect kind of fall theme. It's a fortune teller mystery by Carrie Lee Townsend, and this is called Tempest in the Tea Leaves. It is the first in the series. Super beautiful cover. So our main character in this is Sunny Meadows, and she's a fortune teller, and a lot of fortune tellers are fakes, but she actually can see the future, and she reads the librarian in town's like tea leaves. I'm not really familiar with it, and basically predicts that she is going to meet her death or her doom. She tells the frazzled woman this, but her warning comes too late and something happens to the librarian, and now the detective on the case is kind of hounding her because they don't believe in Sunny's abilities, and Sunny is trying to get to the bottom of everything. Sounds really fun. There's also a really cute cat right there on the cover, so I think this one should have some nice vibes. It looks more springy now that I'm looking at it closely with the roses and stuff, but the theme with the fortune telling sounded right up like the fall, like it just sounded perfect for fall. Another one, I have been waiting all year to read this. I'm so excited. It's A Trip with Trouble by Diane Kelly. This is the second in the Mountain Lodge mystery series. And our main character in the series is Misty Murphy, and she, I think, just about turned 50 or so. In the first book, she has opened this mountain lodge after an amicable divorce with her husband. She has like 2 adult sons, so she is a mom. And in this one, they have filled the mountain lodge with this like motorcycle group of ladies. They're the Dangerous Curves Motorcycle Club, and they are doing this like trip through the mountains on their bikes, and they actually invite Misty and her assistant Bryn on the trip with them. So they go. While they're out there though, one of the ladies disappears, and they don't know if she ran out of gas, they don't know if something happened to her, and they're trying to figure out what happened. And they also don't have any cell service because of the mountains, so it sounds really quite thrilling for a cozy, and it's obviously very fall. They're actually going out on this drive to look at fall foliage, so perfect for autumn. This next one was very kindly sent to me by my friend Sonia, and I'm so excited. It's One Poison Pie by Lynn Cahoon. This is the first in the Kitchen Witch mystery series, which sounds so perfect. It's supposed to be very whimsical. So our main character in this is Mia Malone, and she returns back to this quirky Idaho small town where her grandmother lives, because she's had some recent relationship issues, and she is a kitchen witch. So I guess she can infuse magic into food, so she starts this catering business, and her first client unfortunately ends up murdered, and the police think she is a prime suspect for it. Her ex-fiance's little sister Christina also shows up, and she has a meddling grandmother and a cat all to deal with, so she's got quite the plate full, and this just sounds so much fun. I'm kind of getting into more supernatural cozies, especially ones that are just like more whimsical like this, so I'm really excited to give this one a try. Double Mocha Blues by Tiora Moody. This cover, I love it, and coffee is such a cozy theme, I think, for fall. So our main character in this is Jocelyn, or Joss Miller, and she has recently had some really good things happen in her life. She is a barista, but she also works as a true crime podcaster, and her podcast has gotten some more like accolades recently. People are watching it more. She's really excited, and it sounds like the coffee shop she works at really supports local art and stuff like that. Sounds like a very hip kind of place. So with her family's permission, she decides to create this tribute to her grandfather, who died, it sounds like, at the hands of like a murderer or some kind of accident or something related to true crime. So she makes a tribute to that, and some people are not very happy about that. And unfortunately, the staunchest protester is found dead, and Jocelyn becomes a suspect because maybe she wanted to silence them. So that's the main premise for this. I just had to purchase this because my library didn't have it. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I have been talking about the second book release in the series in a recent cozy mystery release video a couple months back, and it sounded so good, and I've been meaning to really get some coffee house cozies going, so this one looked amazing. Another one I've been so excited to read, and again this kind of goes with the cozy coffee tea theme, is Death by a Thousand Sips by Gretchen Rue. How cute is the cat on here? This is also a supernatural, very cozy mystery series. So what I really liked about book 1 in this series is that there is magic. The main character Phoebe has moved into her Aunt Eudora's like manor, and she's taken over her aunt's tea and bookshop. It's like a combo, which is amazing. I mean, tea and books. What else do we need, right? And a cat. So she's taken this over because her aunt has passed away, and she's recently discovered her magical powers, which again is kind of like the Kitchen Witch, I think, where she kind of infuses magic into food, but she can do other things too. She's still learning. And this is book 2, and she basically comes across a dead body at an estate sale, and she is a prime suspect in the case, so she enrolls her childhood friend, who's now also like a detective or private investigator, to help her, and the two of them are going to tackle this case. I really liked book 1. It was one of the first supernatural cozies I really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Another one I think has a really cozy fall theme is Yarn to Go, a yarn retreat mystery by Betty Hetchman. This is the first in a series. I just randomly picked this up from my library. I hadn't heard of this before, but the yarn theme sounded perfect. I think anything with knitting or crafts is especially cozy for fall and winter, so I can't wait to try this. So our main character in this is Casey, and she's actually a dessert chef, but her aunt's business, Yarn to Go, where she hosts like these yarn retreats, which are like craft retreats, I guess, unfortunately needs her help when her aunt passes away, leaving the business to her. Now Casey doesn't know anything about yarn or knitting, but she decides to go ahead and host the final retreat that was already scheduled. So she's like, you know, what's the worst that can happen? Well, unfortunately at the resort or hotel, one of the guests is found dead and drama ensues. So I'm really excited for this. The cat on this front here just really caught my attention. They're so cute, and again, I don't personally knit or sew. It's not for me, but I think it's such a cozy theme for this time of year. I'm also looking in my reading journal right now. I have a couple in here that I'll go over, but let's finish the next 2 cozies that I do have on my TBR, physical TBR shelf. We have Homicide at the Haunted House by Beth Dogmar. This is a paranormal cozy. So this one is definitely very supernatural, and I don't know if it's going to be too supernatural for me. We're going to find out, but it takes place in Nightmare, Arizona. I'm a sucker for a southwestern mystery because that's where I live, so I think it's just kind of fun. And it takes place in like a really old like ghost mining town, which just reminds me of Miner 49er from Scooby-Doo, which is some of my favorite themes for the Scooby-Doo episodes. So I love cozies or mysteries that take place in like mining towns. I think it's fantastic. So in this one, our main character is Olivia, and she is on her way to California because she's gone through a divorce. She just has nothing to her name. It's a mess. Everything's a mess. So she's in her car. She has everything she owns in her car with her. She breaks down in Nightmare, Arizona of all places. So she has to get a job because she's broke and she can't afford to fix her car. So she ends up working and taking a job at a haunted house. That might actually be haunted, I'm thinking, because it's a paranormal cozy mystery. And when she shows up on her first day, there is someone dead in the yard, and she's a suspect because she's the outsider in this town. It's a very small, close-knit town and community, and she's this random person who's arrived there this week, so no one can really vouch for her, so she gets involved in the case. I'm very excited for this. Look at this cute little, like, gremlin here. I don't know exactly what that is, but he's really cute, so I'm excited for this. It just looks so fun. It's very short. It's under 200 pages, so it's actually closer to a novella, if anything. And then I also really want to read Resort to Murder by Annie McEwen. This is so beautiful and was a gift, and it was just, oh, it's so pretty. So our main character in this is Emmy Cooper, and her life in Chicago just gets turned upside down. So she retreats to her family's lake cottage in northern Wisconsin in like this mountainous area, and she's an interior designer, and she's gonna help her folks around the place. But her dad and a lot of the residents are up in arms because they're like these property developers who are trying to buy their land from them, and her father basically stands up to them, and unfortunately that property developer is then found dead, and her father is a suspect in it. There's 2 adorable dogs on this cover. It sounds like a beautiful setting with the Wisconsin and mountains and everything. Perfect for fall. I am so excited to read this. It is the first one in the Northwood mystery series, so I'm really excited to try this series out. Okay, and then honorable mentions. These are ones that I have on hold with my library that I'm hoping to get soon. We have Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop by Emmeline Duncan. I love Emmeline Duncan's Ground Rules coffee mystery series, which is like a coffee cart, like in this like food plaza. It's really cool. I love it. I'm working my way through that, but she's opening with a new cozy mystery series this year, Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop, and it's in a Halloween themed town. That's all we need to, that's all you need to know. It's a bookish cozy mystery in a Halloween town. I can't think of any better way to put that. The other one is The Spook in the Stacks by Eva Gates. And this is part of the Lighthouse Library Mystery Series. I recently read the first book in the series and really loved it. I think I read it for a bookish vlog. I'll link it above if you want to check it out. There are 2 more books before this. This is the 4th book in the series. However, the cover, I didn't want to read the description in case I had spoilers for the previous books that I haven't read yet, but the cover has the adorable cat on it, and they're holding a Sleepy Hollow book. I love The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So the fact that this is a Halloween and Sleepy Hollow themed cozy mystery with a lighthouse library, that's all I need to know. So I would really like to hopefully read through book 2 and 3 very soon, so I can hopefully get to the Sleepy Hollow book around October, maybe at latest. That's my goal. Okay, next I have a couple of general mystery and then a cozy fantasy that we'll get into. So for starters, I want to finally read Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I've recently gotten into audiobooks. I might actually listen to this or like tandem read it because I really loved listening to Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie in audio form. I thought that added so much to it, and I think most of us know the general premise for this, but basically there's a train, a bunch of strangers on it, and the train I think breaks down. Hercule Poirot is on the train and he goes around interviewing everyone because someone is murdered on the train. It's an isolation mystery, which I love. It's Agatha Christie, which means it's probably going to be good, so I'm very excited. I would love to be able to watch this movie this winter, so let me know if you have a recommendation for the movie for this one. I would love to know your thoughts if you have a preferred movie version of this. Then on another classic note, I would really like to read Great Stories of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I don't know if I'll read this exact book here. This is one I got used, but I do want to read at least the next novel or so in the series, which would be The Sign of Four. I've read a lot of the short stories, but I'd like to read some of the longer like novellas in the series, just because Sherlock Holmes it's so fall and like winter feeling. It's just perfect. It's classic detective, so I definitely want to read that. And then a historical one I'm so excited to read. This is a new release this year. It's called A Lethal Lady by Nekesa Afia. This is part of the Harlem Renaissance Mystery Series. I've checked this out from my library, and this takes place in Paris in 1928. Our main character is Louise Lloyd, and in the first 2 books she's in Harlem and she's kind of moved to Paris. In this one she's had a big change in her life. You do want to read this series in order. I would really recommend that. She's very much a reluctant sleuth. In this one she's approached by a person, a woman who has like a recommendation from one of her friends back home. So the only reason she agrees to look into the case is because of the recommendation from her friend and the fact that this woman is looking for her missing daughter, who had recently gotten into this elite circle of artists. And these artists are willing to do pretty much anything to be successful, possibly even murder. So is the daughter missing? Has she been, something happened to her? We don't know. This is definitely not a cozy series. There's definitely some pretty strong themes, some graphic violence, but overall it's not too bad, I don't think. I really enjoy it. I love the covers for this series, and I'm so looking forward to reading the next one in this series. As for cozy fantasy, I have this one I purchased with a book shopping vlog. I'll link that above if you want to check it out, but this is Can't Spell Treason Without T by Rebecca Thorne. It's a cozy fantasy steeped with love. How gorgeous is everything about this? I mean, just everything. Also, there's a map. Look at this. So beautiful. I'm a sucker if there's a map, if there's a guest list, if there's a family tree, anything like that, any of those extras. I love it. And there's even some beautiful like little kind of illustrated bits throughout the book, which I think are so fun. So we have 2 main characters. We have Reyna and Chianthe. Chianthe is the most powerful mage in the realm, and Rhea is a palace guard, but after she was taken hostage protecting the queen, who she doesn't even like, it sounds like the queen's quite stuck up or something, they decide to run away together and open a bookshop and like tea shop together because that's been their lifelong dream, and they want to run off together and, you know, start their lives together basically. But this involves being treasonous. It says what follows is a cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and a murderous queen throwing the realm's biggest temper tantrum. They go to the small town nestled in the icy tundra near Dragon Country and open the shop of their dreams. This is really giving me like Legend and Lattes vibe, which I really enjoyed, so I am really looking forward to this. This book looks so perfect for fall with the cozy fireplace and everything, so I can't wait to read this. Then I have one random, not mystery or thriller or cozy fantasy, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I bought this illustrated version this year, and I've been so excited to read this. Of course, I think we're all fairly familiar with the general premise of Frankenstein. There's this ambitious medical student who wants to bring Frankenstein to life. I have never actually read Frankenstein. I've watched some different like adaptations, so I know the general idea behind it, but this just looks like the way to read it. I mean, look at this. Look at these illustrations. So absolutely beautiful. I love it, and I feel like illustration really makes these classics come to life in the most beautiful way. So I am so excited to read this and finally really absorb myself into the story. I'm sure it's going to be really good. I mean, it's a classic for a reason, and it seems like the perfect fall classic. Okay, now getting into thrillers. One of the ones I'm really excited to read is called The Second Mother by Jenny Milkman, and this is the cover. I bought this used and it looks so fantastic. Our main character in this is Julie Weathers, and she's kind of escaping from some kind of situation. She decides to run away to this remote area in Maine, which has been a theme for books I've been reading recently. I just love Maine setting. It's so beautiful. So she runs away and she starts to teach the island's children, and she also meets this man who seems like he's doing what she's doing, using this island as a place to escape. And she's starting to wonder if the danger on this island is greater than what she escaped herself. I am so excited for this. It looks so foreboding, this like dark cover with the stormy looking sky. It looks perfect for this time of year. It's a pretty chunky one. It's actually over 400 pages, and I'm so excited for it. Another one I would really love to read is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. So the little teaser for this says it isn't paranoia if it's true. That in itself causes chills. I love what it says in here. It says it isn't paranoia if it's really happening. So our main character is Anna Fox. She's a recluse. She lives in New York City, and Anna spends her days at home. She's a recluse. She spends her days drinking a bit too much wine, watching too much TV, and also watching through the windows. And this new family moves in across her so she can see into their windows, and they seem to be the perfect family until Anna witnesses something she shouldn't have, and it puts into question what is really happening here? Who is in control? What is going on? Is there danger? I am so excited for this. It sounds so gripping. I cannot wait. Similarly, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I've heard so many good things about this. Some of you have mentioned that it's really chilling. And this one actually has kind of a similar premise to this, where someone witnesses something they shouldn't have. So our main character is Rachel. This is described as a very Hitchcockian type thriller, which I love. And she's the girl on the train. She spends every day there on her commute, and she always catches this perfect couple, Jason and Jess. That's who she's nicknamed them anyways. She doesn't actually know them. She always watches them on their deck eating breakfast every morning, and they just seem to have this perfect life until one day she's watching them and something happens, something she shouldn't have seen. So again, very similar premise actually to the other one, but I'm so excited for this. It sounds incredible. I've also become more and more of a Lisa Jewell fan. I've really enjoyed most of what I've read from her, and I picked up used I Found You by her, and I really would like to get to this fall. And there are multiple storylines here, so I'm going to try to keep these straight. So it's in a British seaside town of Ridinghouse Bay. Single mom Alice Lake finds a man sitting on the beach who has no idea how he got there. Then we have this newlywed, Lily, who is out in the suburbs in London, and her husband hasn't come home. She's really worried, but the police tell her that the man she married doesn't exist. That alone, I can't even process that. And then 23 years earlier, Gray and Krista are on this trip with their parents, or at least one of their parents. I think they're a couple. And this man starts to really pay attention to Christy, and it makes Gray very worried. It's very intense and unusual, the way he's paying attention to her. And how do all these stories intersect? I have literally no idea, but I know Lisa Jewell will probably pull it off, so I'm excited. Another one I recently got from a little free library that I would really love to read is Finding Grace by K.L. Slater. This is the cover right here. So Lucy and Blake Sullivan are parents to 9-year-old Grace, and they both agreed to let Grace walk to her friend's house in the neighborhood. It's only 2 minutes away. She's 9 years old. They're okay, she can handle this, and they're even joking. They're maybe we should hide in the bushes or something. Well, they're not joking anymore because Grace unfortunately disappears in that very short walk to her friend's house. Well, obviously they're freaking out. They call the police. So Lucy starts to panic. She starts to take the house apart, and she starts to find some things out about her husband that's making her nervous. However, she also has her own secrets. So what do these secrets have to do, if anything, with Grace's disappearance? I don't know, but that's the general premise for this, and I'm really excited. Sounds like an interesting kind of domestic psychological thriller. And then last but not least, we have by Catherine Steadman, Look in the Mirror. This one's described by Lucy Foley as an utter white-knuckle ride, and this follows two different perspectives. So we have two main characters. We have Nina and Maria. Nina is shocked when her father passes away and leaves her this beautiful vacation home that she had no idea existed. She's suddenly lots of money. She's shocked, so she goes there, and she's spending some time there trying to recover from her grief, and she's trying to figure out what exactly her father was doing with this place. Why was he hiding the money from her? What is going on? And then simultaneously we have Maria, who is a nanny to the super rich, and she is waiting for the children of this family she's supposed to be working for to arrive at this place. So she's at this like luxury estate or something, waiting for them. They haven't arrived yet. So she starts to explore the place. She's allowed to use the facilities except for one rule, which is to stay away from this off-limit room. But how long can she really keep that up? I want to know what's in the room. So I'm really excited for this one. It sounds very, very interesting. And that is it for my fall TBR, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know, what is on your fall TBR? Do you have a mashup of cozy thrillers, mysteries? Like, what is on your fall TBR? Leave me a couple of recommendations if you have any fall reads you're really excited for that you've loved in the past or that you're personally excited to read this fall. Thank you again for watching and spending time with me today. My name is Amy Marie. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I do post new book content every week on my channel, especially within the mystery, thriller, and like cozy genres. So if you like those, you'll probably like what I post. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Happy fall.